Hi, my ravens and crows. This is a book of Amelia Bedelia, Bakes Off. And it's really funny. She's a goofy maid. And let's get to the story so you can see what I mean. On her day off, Amelia Bedelia stopped by to visit Mr. and Mrs. Rogers. "Morning, everybody," said Amelia. "Shh," said Mr. Rogers. "Sorry," said Amelia quietly. "Don't mind him," said Miss Rogers. "He's watching his favorite show." "What's cooking?" "I give up," said Amelia. "What are you cooking?" "Nothing," said Miss Rogers. "That is the name of the program." Mr. Rogers was getting annoyed. "Please be quiet, for Pete's sake." "Who is Pete?" Amelia Bedelia whispered. Miss Rogers smiled and said, "His name is Chef du jour. He shows people how to make gourmet meals and fancy desserts." Mr. Rogers turned up the volume. "Don't forget," Chef du jour was saying, "I'll pick the winner of my big bake-off contest. The best baker will get $1,000. The audience applauded wildly." Mr. Rogers clapped his hands too. "Wow," he said, $1,000? That is a lot of dough." "Not really," said Amelia. $1,000 is a lot of deer. But there is no dough at all." "Amelia Bedelia," said Miss Rogers, "you ought to enter that contest. You make the best lemon meringue pie." "She's right," said Mr. Rogers. "A smart cookie would give it a try." "Thanks anyway," said Amelia. "By tonight I will be all baked out. Cousin Alkalu and I are running Grace's cookie jar all day today." "You two run a bakery?" said Mr. Rogers. "That sounds like a half-baked idea." "No, it isn't," said Amelia. "This idea is completely baked. Grace had to go out of town. She left us her recipes." "You'll do fine," said Miss Rogers. "Call us if you need help." "Will do," said Amelia. On her way to the bakery, Amelia thought about smart cookies. Did they taste better? By the time she arrived, Cousin Alkalu was unlocking the door. "Hi, Cousin Alkalu," said Amelia. "Hey there," he said. "You looked puzzled." "I was wondering," said Amelia, "can a cookie be smart?" Cousin Alkalu shrugged his shoulders. A cookie can be rich," he said. "I've heard that too," she said. "Is that what a fortune cookie is?" Cousin Alkalu shrugged again and said, "Maybe so. We'd better get started." They went inside, got ready to do some serious baking. They found a big stack of recipes along with a note from Grace. "This will be easy," said Amelia. "Grace will tell us exactly what to do." They read her note together. "Start every recipe from scratch." Amelia Bedelia scratched Cousin Alkalu's back. Then Cousin Alkalu scratched her back. "That felt good," said Amelia. "Now I feel like baking. What's first?" Cousin Alkalu read from the note around. "Bake a batch of chocolate chip cookies, but cut the recipe in half." "That's easy," said Amelia. Cousin Alkalu shook his head. "You know," said Amelia, "I guess we ought to cut all the chocolate chips in half too." "What?" said Cousin Alkalu. "That will take forever." I know," said Amelia. "But we'd better follow Grace's instructions, or the cookies may not turn out so tasty." She began to cut each chip in half. Bits of chocolate flew everywhere. "This is so silly," said Cousin Alkalu. "These are not very smart cookies." "Not smart is right," said Amelia. "These are definitely dumb cookies." Amelia Bedelia looked at Grace's recipe. "Gosh, this is unbelievable. Grace wants us to bake 12-pound cakes." "Are you sure?" said Cousin Alkalu. 12 pounds is a mighty heavy cake. How many 12-pound cakes does Grace want us to bake?" "She didn't say," said Amelia. "Her recipe is for just 1-pound cake. One 12-pound cake should be plenty." Cousin Alkalu scratched his head. If we bake 12 1-pound cakes, then stack them on top of one another. That's it," said Amelia. "That adds up to 12-pound cake. Cousin Alkalu, you are a genius." Amelia found 12 pans. She mixed up a huge bowl of batter. It was enough for 13 cakes. She found another pan and crammed all 13 cakes into the oven to bake. "You know, a baker's dozen isn't actually 13. "See there," said Amelia. "You can count better than a baker." Cousin Alkalu finished cutting all of the chocolate chips in half. Then he read the other half of the recipe. "Please bring me the salt," he said. "Here you go," said Amelia. She brought him a huge box of salt. "That is too much," said Cousin Alkalu. "I just need a pinch." Amelia Bedelia reached out and... Ow! hollered Cousin Alkalu. "What did you pinch me for?" "For the recipe," said Amelia. "I gave you a pinch like you asked." Cousin Alkalu rubbed his arm. "I'm so sorry," said Amelia. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "Now you've got a chip on your shoulder." "No, I don't," said Cousin Alkalu. "I'd never hold a grudge against you." "Hold still," said Amelia. She reached out and plucked the chocolate chip off his shoulder, then said, "Open wide." She tossed the chip in his mouth. Yum," said Cousin Alkalu. "Thanks." He finished mixing the dough and put a batch of cookies into the second oven. Amelia got 3 cakes out of the refrigerator. "What are those?" asked Cousin Alkalu. "Grace calls them cheesecakes," said Amelia. "We're supposed to put cherries on top." "Cherries with cheese?" said Cousin Alkalu. "Sounds like a yucky combination to me." "Me too," said Amelia. "I bet if these cakes looked cheesier, they wouldn't need any cherries." They cut holes to make a Swiss cheesecake, drizzled food coloring to paint a blue cheesecake, and planted flags to create an American cheesecake. Just then the oven timer went off. Amelia Bedelia and Cousin Alkalu took out the pound cake and put them on racks to cool. Then they took the cookies out of the oven and had a tea break to sample them. "You know what," said Amelia, "they taste better than the chips cut in half. These are smart cookies after all." "It was worth the work," said Cousin Alkalu. "Now let's build that 12-pound cake." Amelia handed him a cake after cake. Cousin Alkalu carefully stacked each one higher and higher. "Is that my imagination?" said Amelia. "Or are the cakes starting to lean?" "I can't tell," said Cousin Alkalu. "Hand me the last cake, please." As soon as he put it on top, it slid off and crashed onto the table. "Uh-oh," said Cousin Alkalu. "This pound cake got pounded." "No problem," said Amelia. "Our baker's dozen gave us a spare cake. Bakers must know that accidents happen. Lucky for us," said Cousin Alkalu. Amelia Bedelia checked the recipes. "Hold on," she said. "This is even luckier. Grace wants us to make a crumb cake. Let's just press these crumbs together." The two of them pushed and prodded until the crumbs turned into a cake. "Presto, crumb cake," said Amelia. "Yes, sirree," said Cousin Alkalu. "That is one crummy cake." "Uh-oh," said Amelia. "Did we leave something in the oven?" "That's the phone," said Cousin Alkalu. "Hello," said Amelia. "This is Grace's cookie jar. May I help you?" "Hi, it's Grace," said Grace. "How are things going?" "Almost done," said Amelia. "We've got one last cake to go, but I think I'll make it at home." "Good thinking," said Grace. "You must be exhausted." "I am," said Amelia. "I'll bring it in tomorrow. I've got an idea," said Grace. "I'll be at the big bake-off. Just meet me there." "Okay," said Amelia. "Thank you. Bye-bye," said Grace. Cousin Alkalu began to clean up. "I'll handle this mess," he said. "You go home and bake that cake and then get some sleep." "Thank you," said Amelia. "I can barely keep my eyes open." By the time she got home, Amelia Bedelia was yawning, but she had one last cake in her. It was an old family recipe that her grandmother had taught her. There were just 9 ingredients. She mixed them up right in the pan, and then put the pan in the oven. After the cake had baked and cooled, she cut 2 tiny pieces off one end and set them right on top. Then she frosted and decorated her cake from top to bottom. The next day, Amelia Bedelia overslept. She was tired from all that baking. She picked up her cake and dashed to the bake-off. Incredible cakes filled the hall. Television cameras were everywhere. Reporters interviewed the bakers. The excitement was building. Amelia Bedelia looked around. She did not see Grace anywhere. Amelia Bedelia put her cakes down on a table and went to search for her. At that moment, Chef du jour strolled in Amelia Bedelia's direction. He looked grumpy, just like on TV. When he got to Amelia Bedelia's cake, Chef du jour stopped in his tracks. "What is this?" asked Chef du jour. "Is this someone's idea of a joke?" "It's my idea," said Amelia. "And it is no joke." "Then what is it?" demanded the chef. "It started out as a sheet cake," said Amelia. "But I was so tired when I baked it, I went ahead and made the whole bed." A smile came over the chef's face. "It's so easy to make," said Amelia, "and it's pretty tasty." "Really?" said the chef. "You can actually eat it?" "Here," said Amelia. "Bite into a pillow." The chef took a bite, he closed his eyes, and his smile got even bigger. "Your cake is simple," he said, "yet the flavor is complex. It's funny, but seriously delicious." "Glad you like it," said Amelia. "Like it?" said Chef du jour. "I love it. It's fantastic. Your cake takes the cake at first prize." There was a huge cheer. Amelia Bedelia smiled and waved to everyone at home, especially the 2 she knew were watching. Mr. and Miss Rogers were speechless. Then they jumped for joy. See there, said Miss Rogers. Amelia Bedelia is a smart cookie after all. She sure is, said Mr. Rogers. And with $1,000, she's a fortune cookie too. And right here is Amelia Bedelia's sheet cake recipe. And it tells you exactly how to make it. I'll leave it there probably for a little longer in case you want to scan through it. Or I can put it down at the down bar in the description. And that's the end of that book, which is Amelia Bedelia's Bake Off. I hope you guys enjoyed my little reading. I'm actually a little bit better than my first book, which was Good Driving Amelia Bedelia. I am still working hard to perfect my reading in videos because I have not read so much of anything since I was, well, little or in school from a book. I usually read online, but if you liked it, give the video a thumbs up, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Like me on Twitter, Facebook. I will have those at the down bar as soon as I make them, of course, and then I will put them in an edit to the down bar as well, so keep a lookout for those. And until then, I will be back with another reading of Amelia Bedelia series, so you just gotta wait and see which one I pick. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day or night. Bye-bye.